It's Friday, we've got a cool show for you today, but unfortunately we have to talk about how we were probably all fake newsed yesterday. That's right, the stories about the scene from CineEurope and the whole Avengers 4 thing. A lot of that's been debunked, but there was some stuff that was real, so I want to get into that, kind of clarify now that more information is out there, what actually happened in Europe regarding Avengers 4. Also want to talk about the Aquaman movie. Entertainment Weekly dropped a ton of cool photos and a great article about the movie yesterday. We're expecting to get that trailer any day, so I want to go over those photos and all the information we have about James Wan's Aquaman. This is the Nerdy News Rundown, your daily dose for nerdy news. Let's get you filled in. What's up, everybody? I am, of course, Josh Lucas. This is the Den of Nerds, and wow, yeah, we probably got fake news. Gonna get into that right now. This coffee's bittersweet, just like the story we're about to cover. So yeah, yesterday I did the video talking about Avengers 4, the scene that was screened at CineEurope. Everybody was talking about it online. I saw a lot of other YouTubers and a lot of other trades and websites discussing this, and it was all lies. We got fake news, and everybody on the internet is terrible. And honestly, like, I wish I could say that I expected better from the internet, but I mean, honestly, I didn't. But I do want to apologize. I did think that it was confirmed. A lot of people that I respect were covering it, and so I covered it, and so my bad. But let's talk about what actually happened there, because there's still a lot of confusion around the event itself, and this is because it was a relatively small event, and the security for this event was like ridiculous. They took everybody's tech, no cell phones, no smartwatches, no nothing. They took everybody's stuff away from them, and there were only even a couple photographs of what the event actually looked like. And so we got a lot of conflicting reports yesterday about what was said, what kind of footage was shown. There was definitely footage shown, but a lot of it was just Kevin Feige sitting in a chair, apparently addressing the people at CineEurope directly, talking about different things, a lot of inside baseball. Apparently this was really geared towards selling merchandise, selling the films, in general, what the Marvel Cinematic Universe has planned for Avengers 4, how hype it's going to be, different things like that. There was footage shown of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and there was footage shown of Captain Marvel. Now, as far as Avengers 4, there were apparently photographs shown, and Feige did talk about Avengers 4 to these people, but there was no scene shown from the film with Ant-Man and Tony Stark. Now, I've heard some people saying that Feige was talking about Tony Stark and Ant-Man, talking about the quantum realm. I haven't really heard that confirmed at all, so I don't know. I think the bottom line here is there's a lot of lack of information, conflicting reports, and a lot of people trying to just grab little pieces of information and run with it online. Now, what I find really weird about this is so many people corroborated the same, apparently not true story. There were all sorts of tweets, all sorts of websites, YouTube videos, and posts on Reddit talking about this scene and how it was shown at CineEurope. And so I'm pretty confused. Like, how could a fake report get that much traction behind it? I don't really know. Part of me wants to believe that maybe this was something that Feige did talk about during the video, and then those people then, when they got out of the presentation, maybe called people they knew in the media, said, hey, there was footage shown, there was this scene between Ant-Man and Tony Stark discussed, and there was maybe some stuff lost in translation. I don't know. That's me. Maybe I'm reaching, but that's kind of what I think happened. Now, the one thing that was certainly confirmed was this look at Hulk in his new armor, and the fact that Hulk looks so different and honestly looks a lot like this Professor Hulk rumor that once again lends itself to the leaks that came out on Reddit a couple of months ago. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat. And I saw comments on the video I did yesterday, even after people found out that the scene was debunked, they came to the video and said, look, I do think this is the way the plot is going to go down. This is probably something that's going to happen in Avengers 4, but that scene did not happen. And so that's where I'm at with it. And one of the things that's interesting is if you look at some comments that Evangeline Lilly recently made, she is talking about how the Avengers 4 plotline resembles Lost Season 4 and how it's going to be really crazy. There was, of course, time travel and stuff in that season. And she talks about how Ant-Man and the Wasp do play a role in that. If you looked at the leaked footage with Ant-Man and the Avengers looking like they're at the Battle of New York with those weird wristwatches on, if you look at just the structure of how the MCU is working, what we think is going to happen in Ant-Man and the Wasp, all signs point to this being the way that the plot will likely go down. And to me, it feels almost like a missed opportunity. Like the reports yesterday, even though apparently they weren't real, they make more sense because they get people excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is tracking low relative to a lot of MCU films, but I guess everybody kind of expected that. But my point is, why not come out and show or talk about how stuff that's going on in Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to have huge ramifications for Avengers 4. I feel like that would push more revenue towards the film. But for all intents and purposes, that is the story out there. The scene did not happen, although there was a lot discussed about Avengers 4 and the future of the MCU at CineEurope. A lot of people still think that the jumping through realities, quantum realm, Infinity Stone gathering plot is still going to be the thing that happens in Avengers 4. But in all fairness, that scene did not happen yesterday. And honestly, that really bums me out because I did this whole other video, which now I have to re-record. So what do you think about the news? What the hell do you think happened over in Spain? Was there something lost in translation? Is there just a massive effort to legitimize leaks and people on Reddit trying to get credibility? What do you think happened? And what do you think is actually going to happen in Avengers 4? Whatever your thoughts are about the story, I want to know in the comment section below. All right, let's switch gears. Let's get under the sea and talk a little bit about Aquaman. So yesterday, Entertainment Weekly came out with a very nice article outlining a bunch of different information about James Wan's Aquaman, and they showed us a bunch of different pictures from the film. So my overall feeling about these pictures is that they look dope. I mean, I love the bright colors showcased. This palette looks awesome. It looks to be really different than a lot of the darker tones that we're used to in the DCEU, which is a nice change of pace. Overall, all of the armor sets and everything that was shown about the Atlanteans looks awesome. It all looks very regal. I like the look of almost everything that we saw. And overall, it just looks really fun. Like the tone just really comes across. It looks sharp. It looks crisp. It looks bright and dope as hell. So honestly, my overall impressions of the photos were like, this is really successful in giving people an idea of what the film will look like and getting people excited to check it out. Now, as far as the specifics of the photographs, the thing that excited me the most, and I'm sure it's the case for a lot of you out there, was Black Manta. We got the first official look at the Black Manta character, including the dope helmet, which looks completely comic book accurate to me. Black Manta is, of course, going to be played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. I'm not too familiar with this guy, but apparently he is a great actor. That's awesome. And overall, just the look of the character looks great. Black Manta, huge villain for Aquaman, although we're hearing he's not the main villain for the film, so I'm very interested to see how they handle that dynamic. We get our first official look at Nicole Kidman as Queen Atalana. She looks awesome, although if I'm being completely honest, her suit and the sequencing on it looks just a little bit odd. It's very similar to Mira, but I mean, I just think the Mira costume looks way better. This kind of like white, almost science fiction look to her seems a little bit out of place, although I think that in the film itself, it'll really fit. But I mean, it honestly looks just a little bit weird. I wouldn't mind if they touched that up in post, maybe brought those whites down just a little bit, something like that, just to make it fit a little bit better. We also get our first look at Orm, who is, of course, the fully Atlantean brother to Arthur Curry. This guy has way more of a legitimate claim to the throne, and apparently he's going to be the big villain of the movie. That seems pretty cool. I'm a sucker for Shakespearean family drama, regal stuff like that. I like that kind of storytelling, and honestly, the actor looks incredible. There's a really nice shot of him and Arthur literally looking right at each other. You can almost feel the tension jumping off of that image. Very cool stuff. We got some information about the film as well. They were talking about how the dialogue is going to be handled. Now, if you'll remember in the Justice League movie, there was this weird air bubble created underwater in order to have Mira and Aquaman converse. And a lot of people were like, that's really weird. I hope that's not the way they're going to treat it in Aquaman. And they confirmed in the Entertainment Weekly article that is not going to be the way that they do it. Instead, the characters are just going to speak underwater and it's going to sound completely natural. Makes a lot more sense to me. Feels more comic book accurate. I mean, they're freaking Atlanteans, for God's sakes. Why would they need air if they all exist underwater, it didn't make sense in Justice League. So I'm glad they're doing the plain way. There was a lot of talk about how absolutely awesome the film is. DC is very proud of this movie, and they feel like it's going to sort of turn the DCEU, kind of set things back on course. So I'm excited to hear that. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the trailer. The trailer could drop at any moment. In fact, it could be dropping right now as I'm recording this, and I'd be so pissed if that was the case because I'd have to re-record. It could drop later today, in which case I'll do a reaction and breakdown, or a lot of people are thinking it might drop on Monday. That would be pretty cool, and either way, we will be covering that here on the channel. So that's the news out there about Aquaman. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Are you pumped about these photos? Are you pumped about the film? What do you think it will do for the DCEU? And any thoughts you have on any photographs or elements of the film, let me know in the comment section below. You can click below to watch more dope videos. You can click our icon to subscribe to get all of our future content. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.